Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I'm Afefe with Touch by Tarot. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you are already a subscriber, I really appreciate having you here. And you all, let's break some new ground. I said it was coming. We're going to get deeper into it in 2024. But many of you have expressed an openness and a willingness to talk more about magic. People have understood I'm starting to be a little more open and vulnerable in regards to, owning up that I am a priestess. There's a lot of ground that covers, and my story will, I'm going to tell more and more of my story. I'm going to write a book, a spiritual memoir. But the bottom line is I've had a lot of training in a lot of different modalities. And I recognize that for some people that can be startling or even a little off-putting, because so much of what we have been told around our sacred traditions, deeper aspects of spirituality, we are becoming more comfortable with the idea of things like shamanism and things that traditions and ways that bring us closer to the earth and working with the other realm. Most of us who connect on this platform, it is through some sort of psychic development. We do believe in the exchange of energy with the higher source, the higher realm, spirits, guides, angels, etc., deities, etc., okay? But when we begin to talk about magic in terms of the way that we operate with that, I think a lot of us are comfortable, even in traditional churches, we're comfortable with the notion of having faith in something greater than ourselves to impact our lives, to intervene in our lives and help us change our lives. But when we start talking about the role that we play or can play to help make that happen, it can make us feel a kind of certain way, all right? So when we talk about magic, that's exactly what's happening. Magic is the act, my definition, and only one definition, there are many, but the way I approach it is an act of being a participant, a co-creator with the universe, with our guides, with God, Goddess, source, energy, to impact something that's going on in our lives, whether it's physical healing, financial healing, love, all these sort of central issues that, our life purpose, living our life purpose, all these issues that all of us, no matter who we are, we come into contact with, we confront those issues at some point in our lives, all right? Now, so that was my little introduction. Let me go ahead and get this out the way as well. I technically, a lot of what you will hear me and see me talk about, and I will do workshops on this because I'm conscious of the fact that I don't want to do everything on such a public platform as YouTube. I recognize that there are a lot of closed-minded people. There are a lot of people who get triggered and feel threatened by this topic. So I will be doing more private workshops in 2024 on this topic. This is just to give you a hint of what's to come. Hopefully, spark your interest. Thus, the title of this video, which is, sparking your magic and going into 2024. All right. So, on some very simple general terms. Oh, and I started to tell you. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, the witch word. I have had training by pagans and within a coven, 100%. I had a lot of training. I had to make some decisions for myself about what path I wanted to continue to walk and whether that was suitable for me. In that situation, I made a decision at some point that I needed more, and I will talk to you all more about that. So there's African components, there's Afro-Caribbean components, there's pagan components, there's Native American components, there's Hindu components to my studies and training. And I think, and I'm very grateful for that, because rather than feeling like I wasn't really committed to any one thing, I had a reading recently, and she knows who it is. I won't shout her out without her permission, but it was made clear that that was part of my purpose. I wasn't meant Christian, deep Christian roots. Okay, so all of these things, all of these experiences have led me to this point where I do my thing, but I'm not limited. I don't belong in any boxes. Many of you do not either. I do not think that magic belongs in a box. i.e., I don't think you have to be a witch to perform magic, although, you can go on TikTok any day of the week and see all these, 21 and 22-year-olds swearing they got the keys to the kingdom. Not throwing shade. I love it. There's a part of me, my auntie vibes kick in. I'm kind of tickled by it. but we do have to be aware of the commercialized aspect, or the idea, everybody else is doing it, I'll do it too. That's not the point. All right, I'm going to approach this with you all as a serious way to augment the practices that you already have. Your meditation, your journaling, your vision boards, if you're into that, your work with crystals, whatever it is that you do. Because remember, going back, all things related to magic have to do with action. It has to do with the part that you play and being a participant, a co-creator with the universe for whatever area of life that you're working on. All right, so let's go into tarot. You all know it's my tool of choice, one of my tools of choice, and one of the reasons is because I find it very adaptable for many different purposes. As it relates to magic, I recommend that you identify for yourself. If you're comfortable with tarot, you already know it, cool. If you're learning tarot, take your time with it. There will come a time that you'll start to get some of your, what I call, favorite cards. Cards that just ping you, you resonate with them. As it relates to magic, I recommend personally that you give a few of these. I've got 4. And I am using, by the way, I didn't bring the box, but this is the Key Tarot, which is the deck that is featured in my tarot guide. I will post a link to that on Amazon below. So these images are images that are used in my tarot guide. The first card, and it actually depicts the photograph, is the creator of this tarot deck, Jamie Gold. And we can't talk about magic without the magician in tarot, all right? But here's the thing. The magician's energy, this is about us gathering our tools, our thoughts, our intentions, setting our intentions around what it is that we are willing to do to create the change that we seek, all right? We're trying to get better from a health issue. Is it changing up our medicines? Is it going to see a certain doctor? I'm sitting in front of a sunny window. Is it going to see a certain doctor? Is it changing our diet, taking more supplements, getting more exercise? That is magic. It is actively taking a step and a role toward your well-being, all right? So that's what the magician does. The magician says, let me gather the things that I will need, the food, the supplements, or whatever other area if I want to date, if it's your love life, let me go out, let me be more social, let me, promote myself and get out there and network with people. But this is the act of doing, this is the act of creating, all right? So you gotta have that magician energy. Secondly, you gotta have a desire. You gotta have passion. And a sense of being able to do it. I love this card because it's just all positivity. It's all, taking aim for what you believe is possible. Magic, you all, is really, on a fundamental level, I could almost swap it out with manifestation, just in terms of, we're comfortable when we think about ways to manifest, tools to manifest, things that we do in our lives to help manifest. That's what magic is doing. It's helping you manifest a desired outcome. Always, always, always with the disclaimer. And this is where I think magic gets a bad rap, because it is seen and perceived and sometimes used, let's keep it real, to assert a person's will over another, to dominate another, to take away another person's free will. And in my practice, I will say it over and over and over again, beware, because karma is real, and what you put out comes back, and sometimes it comes back tenfold in ways that you could not imagine. It is not worth it. Make sure in all things, whatever you are doing, that you are doing it with a higher purpose, a higher mind, for healing, for betterment, for joy, for living the purpose, for helping humankind, etc. Like, make your motivations high. Another thing that will do is it will help you manifest faster, because spirit recognizes that. If you're working with your higher mind, your higher guides, then automatically it puts your work, the actions you're taking, on a vibration that matches that cosmic vibration, so it can help bring the ethereal into the physical realm a little faster, if your intentions are such. Okay, you all got that. All right, another one, 7 of Pentacles. All right, that might have surprised some of you, but here's where in magic that works, because once you do something, whether it's a vision board, whether it's journaling, whether it's creating an altar. We'll talk about that in another day. But whatever it is that you are doing, you need to take care of it. You need to continue. If you do a vision board and you never bother to look back at it or sit with it or meditate with it or add to it, add images to it, then what have you done? Okay, Seven of Pentacles is a beautiful reminder in magical terms of taking a moment to think about, here's what I've done, here's what's working. Maybe I need to add a little bit of this or subtract some of that. Going back especially to a health issue, I'm thinking, maybe a certain supplement works, maybe it doesn't. You got to drop that one, try something else. Magic, it is when you are taking a time to really spend with what you have created, magician, and then being willing to make the adjustments. And finally, the fourth card. And this is what I'm bringing to you today. As you work with tarot, you may have other cards that ping you in terms of possibilities. But speaking of possibilities, can't go without the star, okay? Because the star is about setting our hopes, our sights, our vision on what is next. Hopeful, optimistic, Aquarian energy, Uranus energy, being able to, sometimes, that saying, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it, right? It's really believing in what is possible and being willing to adapt and change as what you have asked for comes to bear. Let's use a love relationship, for example. You can be praying up and down, lighting candles, saying your prayers, doing your journaling, manifesting a mate, and then when that mate comes, recognizing the changes that they bring into your life. Maybe you're not as available to your friendship groups, maybe you got to learn how to compromise, share your space, etc. There are ways that you have to adapt for the things that you create, that you bring into your life. So be conscious of that as well. All right. Another thing, moving on from tarot, another thing that many people who practice magic will use, it myself included, and many of you, whether or not you thought about it in that term, is crystals. But I recommend, I got 3 very different types of shapes of crystals, and I was drawn, Spirit said, make sure that I point that out to you as well, because you need to be comfortable. It needs to be, when you work with crystals, whatever they are, and crystals will have, there are crystals for health, for money, for insight, for clairvoyance, for psychic development, for protection, all sorts of things, for grounding, for igniting your passion, all of that. So you do, you study the background of crystals, and I'm sure many of you are experienced in that. But what I want to point out is when you, especially if you have a table or a space where you have, your candles set up or whatever, and you've got your crystals there, but think about the shape of those crystals and how they vibrate with you in terms of what your overall wish is. For instance, this is a big chunk of pyrite. Love it. I got it at the Connect to Empower conference through Mary's shop, Mary Colazzo. Love this piece. But this is a piece that is very grounding, and it's heavy. It has a lot of weight. So if I'm dealing with an issue that feels really serious, I want something, maybe I'm writing in my journal and I want to hold something, work with something that weighs me not down, but that keeps me feeling grounded, that makes me feel the weight of the situation in terms of how the earth can help me, how the guides can help me, how I am supported. This feels very supportive to me. So think about the weight of the crystals that you work with and how they fit in your hand. Another one is a tower. Towers are very, very popular. For me, part of what makes them interesting is because they seem to be pointing in a direction, okay? So when you're asking your guides, when you're praying to God, Goddess, etc., the ancestors, however you work, there's this sense of going from point A up into the heavens. Another thing that I will do sometimes is, as I'm praying, I turn that crystal to my heart, my throat chakra, my third eye, wherever I want to direct the energy to, I will point that crystal in that direction. And finally, we have pyramids, which automatically make us think about meditation, make us think about Egypt, make us think about sacred ground and sacred things, and the idea that there is perfection in what we create. There is perfection. There is there is that going from earth to the heavens, all right? Literally thinking about bigger pyramids even as you work with smaller ones, all right? I hope that resonates. And there are all many, stones come in heart, heart shapes. If you're doing heart chakra, love work, that sort of thing. So just begin to vibe with the shapes of your crystals. That's the point that I'm making, because that too can help you when you begin to work with crystals, to set your intentions and to work your magic. It can make a big difference, all right? And the final thing, this is my piece de resistance, is I highly recommend that you create your own oil, your own intention oil. There are a gazillion million of them on the market. I will, if call it a plug if you want, but I do love Art of the Root products. I've been using them for years. I'm not paid by them. I'm not a representative with them. I just recently got an order, by the way. But, they have a gazillion different types of oils. This one says Good Fortune, but they are well sourced. They will take herbs and things that, flower essences and things that resonate with good fortune, because herbs and flowers do have, plants, etc. They have those connotations. You can always study up on that. But you take these oils, and what I do is I set intentions, and not just Art of the Root, whomever, however, many of you may already make your own oils, but I set intentions based on the topic that I'll see. So for instance, I just showed you the Good Fortune. I have shishi oil, look that one up. That'll make some of you think I'm legit. And psychic intuition oil, okay? So then this is just an example, but you can take these oils and blend them to make your own special blend. If you are looking to build yourself, looking to build your psychic abilities, whatever, like your intuition, for many of you who are working more with your third eye, working to develop your spiritual gifts, well, here you have it. And you can do it with good fortune, meaning that you're designing an oil and setting your intention that you want to live your purpose. You want good fortune, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Always keep those intentions high, guys. Seriously, like if you don't do, that is probably the most important thing. And finally, I recommend that as you get your bottle together. So this is something that is my own, and I've got a gazillion things in here. This is a bottle that has been with me probably about 8 or 9 years. As it goes down, I add things to it, I recreate it, etc. So I couldn't even tell you at this point exactly what's in here, but I do know what my mindset was for everything that went in here. I do know how I operate and how I live in the world. And when I tell you this is intoxicating now, it is intoxicating, and that's the effect that you want. You want something that empowers you. Magic should empower you. It should make you feel like you are a participant with spirit in what it is that you are creating, all right? So as you build on your oil, as it goes down, put something else in it, something that resonates with the intention of this. So for instance, this is part of my prosperity and love, and I got, you see little strips of money. I got some money in there. I got all kinds of things in there. Can't give you all my secrets, but my point is, online you can get little tiny versions of, there's some adventuring there. You can buy little, what was this site? GemInside.com. I'll hold that up for you in case anybody's interested. GemInside.com. And again, I'm not affiliated with any of them. I don't make money from any of them. I'm just sharing with you some stuff that is literally in my little drawer. Okay, so you can get small gemstones that, some people do this for beading and for jewelry, but also you can use it for magical purpose, because if they're small enough, then they can fit inside of a jar. Inside of a bottle. So what you do is, you want that love, you want that peace, that joy, you want that success. There's a little citrine for success, and that rose quartz for love. Success in love. Maybe you add a little bit of citrine and rose quartz to your oil that has your psychic intuition in there, because you want to know how to go about it. You want to know, be able to sense whether somebody you meet has your best purposes at your best interests at heart, or even if it's a health issue, you want to know that the person who you're getting treatment from, that you're comfortable with that. It's the way to go. When you wear this, when you marinate with it, let it sit during a full moon and a new moon. Sit with it, pray with it. Ask for your highest good and your highest intentions, and you will be surprised at when you wear this, knowing that not only what has gone into it, but you are the one who did it. You are the one that is, this is a reflection of you and your greatest self, your higher self. That's how you spark your magic. All right, you all, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'll be doing more. Let me know your interest level. Again, one reason why I'm doing this taping is because so many of you, I talked about this sort of a little bit in a few videos ago, and I got a tremendous response to which I really thank you, because it can be a little scary. I don't want to scare anybody off. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but at the same time, I want to, we need empowerment. We need to build on our faith, and we need to feel like we are more, it's not about being in control or operating from ego, but it is about exercising our faith. And one way that we exercise our faith is to use our tools and to create magic. All right? Enough said. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.